Good afternoon and welcome back. Let's take a look at the upper air chart as we normally start with. And once again, we do look in a pretty stable pattern as we head through today and into this evening, overnight, and into Wednesday morning or tomorrow morning. And even as we head into the afternoon and into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night, it just looks like a stable pattern. We do have a low pressure system way off to the northeast in Canada. That does not look like it's going to affect us. We have a ridge building across a pretty large portion of the country. And again, that is just a high pressure region. And for the most part, this does not really scream anything significant at me. Well, at least in the terms of precipitation. The middle part of the country that is sitting underneath this ridge is probably going to see some unseasonably warm temperatures. And Thursday is Christmas, so if you were hoping for a white Christmas, keep hoping for another 365 days. However, the upper air chart does not always tell the full story, so let's just take a look at forecast precipitation and make sure we're not missing anything. Nothing today and tonight, or this evening, nothing overnight, nothing tomorrow morning, nothing tomorrow afternoon. Oh, but what's this? As we cross from the 24th into the 25th, as the clock strikes midnight between as the clock strikes midnight between Christmas Eve and Christmas, it looks like there may be some rain. Well, why is that? Well, let's take a look at our surface chart. And let's go all the way to our expected time frame. So as we head into the afternoon tomorrow, you see temperatures kind of rise northward towards our area through the day. But as the sun begins to set, they start to retreat, as you'd expect. But an interesting portion is right around here in the Illinois-Indiana region. They actually bulge forward ever so slightly, even when the sun is setting. And that could be a sign that there is a small localized low that doesn't really show up well when we take a large zoom out picture like this, and that there could be a warm front extending from this localized low pressure system. And that warm front could be the focal point for the rain to develop along. Now, for those of you, or cold front, did I say cold front? If I did, I meant warm front. But for those of you who don't enjoy the cold, bad news, that warm front and that low is just going to get shoved off to the east and not reach our area. But is this actually the case? Well, we can take a look at the Weather Prediction Center to confirm, see if they're seeing the same things we are or not. And sure enough, if we take a look at their prediction for that time frame, we do see a small low pressure system right near the Iowa-Illinois border, and you do see a warm front extending off of that. And sure enough, it gets shoved off to the east later. Now let's take a zoomed in view and look at our temperatures. So for today, temperatures are actually not supposed to get much warmer than where they're at now. We're looking at the low 40s, which for being late December, not bad in my opinion. At least not bad unless you were hoping for, unless you like the cold and we're hoping for a white Christmas. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, temperatures look like they will drop below freezing, below 30 degrees. And as we head into tomorrow afternoon, they're not going to quite rise to be as warm as today. Looks like they will get above freezing, but not far above freezing. And it should remain that way overnight and into Christmas morning. Now, what that tells me is that precipitation that may be arriving, we're going to have to just keep an eye on the temperature forecasts to make sure it's going to remain as rain, because even a slight, at this temperature forecast, even a slight variation could result in freezing rain, sleet, snow, mixed precipitation. So while right now it looks like it's going to be just warm enough for it to be rain, that is something we're going to have to keep an eye on to make sure it doesn't change. Now, speaking of precipitation, that makes me think of cloud cover. And it's surprisingly clear right now. I don't believe I was expecting it to be this clear around this time of day. This is the forecast. The different colors are different heights for the clouds. So blue is low level, red is high level, and green is mid level. And it does look like they were expecting some clearing, but I hardly see anything out there at all. So it's pretty clear. And it may remain clear. Maybe these high level clouds move over the area. It looks like they're supposed to get a bit thicker, but I'm sure you might still be able to see the sun for quite a bit today, especially as we head into the later afternoon. This right here is right around sunset. It still looks pretty clear. And then, of course, as we head into tomorrow, then it gets cloudy. Yeah, good luck seeing anything under that. And as we head into Christmas, still looks pretty cloudy. Maybe a bit more clearing, maybe some brief clearing in here, maybe. But that would be in the middle of the night. It would actually be 11 p.m. on tomorrow. Or, yeah, that would be 11. This would be midnight. And then, yeah, it looks like it'll probably remain cloudy. So, enjoy the sun while it's out. Now let's take a look at wind. Again, this is the hourly maximum wind across, or averaged across all the models. So this is going to be stronger, more than likely, than what we'll actually see. And yeah, the whole period, it looks like it's going to be pretty calm. The most active period is probably going to be this afternoon, and right around when that precipitation is coming through between Christmas Eve and Christmas over in that overnight period. The winds likely will not exceed 15 miles per hour. Let's take a look at wind gusts, though, the average across all the models. And maybe you get some gusts up to 20-25 range this evening, but other than that, and maybe up to 20 when that precipitation is coming through, but other than that, looks pretty calm. That will be it for today, and I hope to see you tomorrow.